After sailing on several Holland America ships, we thought we knew what to expect, but the 20-year-old Westerdam definitely surprised us. If you're thinking of sailing on this ship, we cover everything you need to know about the dining, entertainment, onboard activities, and more. And stick around as we reveal the one reason we would think twice about cruising on this ship again, up next. Welcome aboard, cruisers. I'm Don B from Eat, Sleep, Cruise. Now, we've sailed on Holland America ships in several regions, including Alaska, Northern Europe, and the Caribbean. And the one way Holland America Line really separates itself from the competition is its onboard activities. And thankfully, on our 14-day Australia-New Zealand cruise, Westerdam definitely delivered, providing a variety of unique and enriching onboard activities. The cruise director Grant and the rest of the activities team offered a variety of events to keep guests entertained between Westerdam's many exciting ports of call. And whether they occurred during the morning, afternoon, or evening, of course, Heidi and I made sure to attend several of these activities throughout the cruise. On many mornings, guests could start their day with coffee with the cruise director, featuring a Q&A with shipboard personnel like the captain. Throughout the day, there were also additional activities like trivia contests and cruiser competitions. And these events were very well attended. Whether it was a 70s music trivia, which we know nothing about, or a Disney music trivia, which we went 20 for 20, there was something for everyone. Popular game shows like Majority Rules or The Game of Love also occurred during the voyage. The activities manager, Jose, hosted game night most evenings as well. These entertaining events were mainly an excuse for Jose to get the crowd involved and laughing. Further, Holland America Line's popular cooking show occurred several times, with executive chef Darren teaching guests how to cook the cruise line's popular dishes like a coral trout with porcini and bacon. And believe us, it looked and smelled as good as it sounds. Up on Deck 10, the art studio was a popular place for guests to master new knitting skills, learn origami, or engage in adult coloring. The Crow's Nest was also a hub of activity with various board games and puzzles for guests to use at their leisure. But the main attraction here is really the enrichment. In the main theater, Eli, the ship's travel guide, hosted port talks and regional presentations. And we attended virtually all of them. This native Kiwis talks were in-depth, funny, and informative, and they were certainly not glorified shore excursion pitches. Those came later. Additionally, during our scenic day cruising at Fiordland National Park, there was commentary and a talk by one of the national park's representatives. Cruise director Grant also hosted a couple signature Holland America shows as well. From the cruise line's origin story to the behind-the-scenes look at the ship's life in a city on the sea, these offerings should not be missed. So like our experiences sailing on the Holland America Line in Alaska, the cruise line's focus on the destinations and cultural immersion set it apart from others sailing in the region. It helped that Grant, Jose, and Eli were all upbeat and engaging, making all the onboard activities that much more fun. Plus, they were present around the ship and always took a moment to say hi or answer any questions you had, and you could tell that all three of them really enjoyed working on the ship. Now, while the enrichment lived up to our expectations and it was exactly what we were looking for when sailing Australia and New Zealand, one area that Holland America Westerdam did fall short for us was the casual dining. Like the rest of the fleet, Holland America Westerdam features several included dining spots. The Lido Market is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like other cruise ship buffets, this Deck 9 buffet features a variety of hot and cold items that are well organized into stations. In the Navigator app, guests can see the buffet menus for each day, which is actually a nice perk that most cruise lines do not offer, which actually is a huge miss. While menu items did rotate at lunch and dinner, breakfast contained basically the same offerings each morning. There's your pretty standard breakfast selections, including 2 custom omelet stations, warm entrees, fresh fruit, breakfast pastries, and plenty of side dishes. For lunch and dinner, there were several themed offerings. The Distant Lands Asian Station boasted items like sushi, fried rice, noodles, and dishes like chicken teriyaki and sweet and sour pork. The Distant Lands Pasta Station, on the other side of the ship, included a made-to-order selection of different pastas and sauces. The carving station offered a variety of entree selections, and there were also regional specialties most days, like meat pies. While the food variety was on par with our expectations, the food quality was a bit of a letdown. We aren't sure if this was related to sourcing of products in the region, but nothing we sampled lived up to our previous experiences on Holland America ships. In fact, the pizza was inedible. Another casual option on Westerdam is a dive-in burger. Here guests can order signature burgers and dogs right in the Navigator app or walk up to the window. While our selections were hit or miss during this cruise, the offerings were still better than most burgers on cruise ships. Plus, Heidi appreciated the option of getting a grilled chicken sandwich. Also next to the Lido pool was a taco stand, which was new for us on a Holland America Line ship. The self-service option was a regular stop for us to have a quick snack after a long day ashore. While the casual dining for the most part did let us down, unlike almost all contemporary cruise lines, Holland America Line still features complimentary room service. Guests can order continental breakfast items and hot breakfast at no additional charge. During the day, guests can also enjoy options like sandwiches and salads delivered to their stateroom for no additional cost. And while the casual dining was a disappointment, we're happy to report that the main dining room was on par with our expectations. The two-story main dining room on decks 2 and 3 of Westerdam serves up breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For this cruise, we had flexible dining, so on several nights, we had reservations with a group of other cruisers, and on other nights, we entered the standby line for a party of 2. When going standby, for the most part, we were sat within a few minutes, but there were a couple occasions when we went at a busy time and had to wait close to 30 minutes. Breakfast was served daily from about 7:30 to 8 a.m. to about 9:30 a.m. There was a special brunch on a few sea days that occurred from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. This Australian brunch included a mix of sweet and savory items like macadamia nut brioche French toast and a bacon spinach mozzarella frittata. On select sea days or early departure ports, the main dining room served lunch from noon to 1 p.m. as well. Each night, though, the main dining room served a signature menu with port-to-plate selections from 5 to 9 p.m. These locally inspired dishes are another way Holland America Line differentiates itself from the competition. These dishes feature regionally sourced ingredients and include items like chicken, ham, and Parmesan croquettes, braised lamb shoulder, and Australian flathead. Some of my favorite dishes were the prime rib, the beef pot roast, and the pork chop. Heidi raved about several of the nightly plates of pasta, like the bucatini campanata or the farfalle bosch caola. For dessert, you can't go wrong with one of the featured crisps or the many various cheesecake selections. While there's also a cheese plate on the dessert menu, insider tip, we suggest ordering it as a starter. Overall, the food in the main dining room was on par with our previous experiences on Holland America Line ships. With the flexible dining option, we had a different waitstaff most nights, but service for the most part was consistent and friendly. While the food in the main dining room was good, the specialty restaurants, on the other hand, were fantastic. Holland America Westerdam has 2 specialty restaurant venues, Canaletto and the Pinnacle Grill. However, there were pop-ups at the Pinnacle Grill for other specialty restaurants you find on their larger ships, including Tamarind and Morimoto by Sea. Of course, we made sure to sample all the specialty dining. Even the Italian restaurant Canaletto surprised us. Located on Deck 9 in the buffet, our experiences at this restaurant have been hit or miss in the past. However, we're happy to report that the cruise line's newly enhanced menu did deliver at this restaurant. Among some of our favorite starters were the veal and sage meatballs, the burrata, and the antipasta plate. For entrees, the restaurant's version of chicken parm received Heidi's seal of approval. The Italian sausage paccheri was a hearty, flavorful meal with homemade pasta in a rich marinara sauce, as well as the casarecce pesto genovese. For dessert, the baked lemon ricotta cheesecake is by far the best dessert on the ship. During the first half of the trip, the Pinnacle Grill on Deck 2 served its standard steakhouse menu. We carved into starters like the jumbo lump crab cake and the clothesline candy bacon. For dinner, a well-seasoned filet paired well with the decadent lobster mac and cheese, which is the first time I've ever tried this side dish at the restaurant, and I'm definitely ordering it again on our future Holland America line cruise. While this revamped menu no longer has a chicken entree, Heidi did enjoy the newly added Malfadani marinated grilled eggplant, burrata, and chiles. And no steakhouse meal would be complete without classics like a key lime pie or creme brulee. On the back end of the trip, the Pinnacle Grill turned into Tamarind. This Asian-inspired specialty restaurant is one of our favorites on any cruise line. It's hard to pick the best menu items because they're all incredible. Whether it's the chicken sautés, the lobster and shrimp pot stickers, or the Chinese 5-spice baby back ribs, each appetizer is tangy and delicious. For dinner entrees, you can't go wrong with the spicy Thai basil Szechuan shrimp, the red curry coconut chicken, or the wok seared lobster. The latter may be my new favorite dish at this restaurant. I'm not 100% sure yet. Finally, one night there was a Morimoto Baisi pop-up at the Pinnacle Grill. This upscale Asian-influenced seafood menu included options like pork gyoza dumplings, a sushi plate, as well as entrees like chicken teriyaki and the award-winning Ishiyaki Buribop prepared tableside. I also couldn't pass up shrimp three ways and the house fried rice. For dessert, you can't miss the Instagram-worthy dark chocolate sphere. Another benefit of sailing in Holland America Line Westerdam in either Australia or New Zealand are the outdoor spaces. For a ship of this size, there are several different outdoor viewing areas as well as leisure activities available on several decks. These come in handy during scenic cruising or when the weather is nice outside and everyone on the ship wants to enjoy the amenities. Luckily, many Holland America Line ships do have a similar layout and design. So quite honestly, if you sail on another vessel in the fleet, you probably will feel right at home on Westerdam. Most of the outdoor spaces on Westerdam were located on decks 9 and 10. While the weather was not as sunny as we had hoped during our cruise, we did spend a few afternoons enjoying these areas. Midship on deck 9 is the Lido pool. This main pool features a retractable roof, making it a popular spot regardless of the weather outside. And if you're thinking of taking either an Australian-New Zealand cruise or an Alaska cruise, you really do need to have a ship that has an indoor pool or solarium, as the weather in both regions varies from day to day and can be quite unpredictable. Aft on the same deck is the Sea View pool. On warm afternoons, getting a deck chair near the pool did take some work, but there are additional lounge chairs that could be found up on deck 10. Additionally, guests will find the sports court aft on deck 11. The popular activity here was pickleball, with several sessions every day of the cruise. There was also other open play hours for games like basketball or soccer. Deck 3 also has an outdoor promenade. With some loungers and shuffleboard, this partially enclosed promenade wrapped around the ship, making it great for walking and jogging, as well as sightseeing if the weather conditions were less than optimal, which again comes in handy when you're sailing in both Australia and Alaska. During our day of scenic cruising, the captain opened up the ship's bow, as well as viewing platforms forward on decks 5, 6, and 7. There's outdoor viewing areas forward of the gym on deck 9 as well. For those looking for more active pursuits, the ship's fully equipped gym has cardio machines, free weights, and weight machines. For those looking to unwind, there's a greenhouse spa and thermal suite. Guests can book services like massages and facials, or can opt for passes to the thermal suite, home to a hydro pool, heated loungers, a sauna, and other experiences. Thus, for a small ship, Holland America Westerdam does offer a variety of amenities that cruisers can enjoy, setting itself apart from other small ships sailing in these regions. Along with the aforementioned daily activities, there was a pretty standard lineup of evening entertainment, and while the quality of the production shows and the headliner acts didn't rival those of cruise lines like Royal Caribbean or Celebrity Cruises, they were certainly more entertaining than shows we've seen on ships of similar sizes. In the main theater, there was either a signature show or a headliner act each night. Across the 14 nights, there were 4 production shows by the Step 1 Dance Company, with our favorite show being Humanity. Combining digital effects with perfectly sophisticated dance moves, these shows are certainly worth attending. While we do enjoy the Step 1 shows, they are a bit repetitive and do not feature any live music. Holland America Line did recently announce new production shows, but none were on our ship, but that might change in the future. When the dance cast wasn't performing, there were other acts, including comedians and singers. 2 comedians took the stage on 2 different occasions. There was also 3 different musical acts, each quite different. Sarah C. offered a pretty typical diva show with music from the likes of Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, and Adele, among others. There's also country music shows by Daniel Thompson. Not being a huge fan of country music, his icons, the Country Gentlemen, included more obscure numbers than we were expecting. There was also the Jason Singh Experience. He was perhaps the most surprising performance of the entire cruise. His taxi ride to the 90s was right up our alley, with songs from Matchbox 20, the Backstreet Boys, Oasis, and more. It might have been too modern for many in the crowd, but we were definitely fans. Outside of the theater, there was live music in 2 signature Holland America venues, Billboard Onboard and the Rolling Stone Lounge. In Billboard Onboard, 2 resident pianists rotated through sets like one-hit wonders, piano greats, love songs, and most nights also had an all-request hour. In the Rolling Stone Lounge, a multi-talented band performed sets ranging from the 80s rock to country, R&B, pop, and everything in between. Additionally, most evenings, guests looking for something more low-key could unwind with live jazz music in the Ocean Bar. While Holland America doesn't have a glow party or silent disco, and I don't know what they're thinking, everyone loves a silent disco, there is one event that every mariner on the ship attends, the Orange Party. This signature event features themed cocktails, live music, and specialized happenings. It's definitely the most lively nighttime event on the ship, so be sure to pack your orange attire. If you like to drink and are a little bit of a night owl, Holland America Westerdam might let you down. While Westerdam boasts about 6 bars and lounges, many of them serve the same or very similar cocktail menu, and most of the bars have very similar theming, with only a few of them offering a distinct atmosphere and signature cocktail menus. Although we did appreciate the wide selection of regional beers and wines on the ship. And as always, we did our ship pub crawl and made sure to sample at least 1 cocktail at each venue. The venues with the most unique drinks are the Rolling Stone Lounge and the Billboard Onboard. We couldn't pass up hits like a whiskey smash or a Tennessee lemonade. The Ocean Bar also featured a smooth, smoked cherry old fashioned. Guests can also enjoy a pre-dinner or post-dinner drink at the Pinnacle Bar, where the penicillin, or after dinners, the espresso martinis, were our go-tos. Perhaps the only bar with really unique theming and decor is the Gallery Bar. We appreciated the modern art displays and elegant furniture in this quiet, almost hidden bar behind the casino, which featured essentially the same menu you find at the Ocean Bar. Out on the pool decks, guests can grab a classic boat drink or a frozen cocktail from either the Seaview Bar or the Lido Bar. Up on Deck 10, the Crow's Nest was our go-to for daily coffees. Along with offering some great forward-facing views, this cafe also has a full bar for guests wanting something stiffer than a latte or a cappuccino. Of note, this is the only place on Westerdam to grab specialty coffee, as there's no Grand Dutch Cafe, which can be found on newer ships in the fleet. For this sailing, we had the non-alcoholic Quench beverage package, which covers premium beverages like espresso-based coffees, mocktails, soda, and juices. However, guests looking to upgrade their experience should consider the line's Have It All package. This bundle includes add-ons like the signature drink package, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, and more for a flat fee. While there was a lot to like about Westerdam, the one place where the cruise ship definitely fell short was the staterooms. For this sailing, we stayed in a veranda stateroom on Deck 4, cabin 4173. This category VC stateroom was all the way aft on the starboard side. According to the Holland America Line deck plans, the room measures approximately 212 square feet, including the balcony. Upon entering the room, the bathroom was on the right, with a closet to the left. We would have appreciated a bit more storage space in the room though, but we may do with the closet configuration of a clothes bar with hangers and several shelves. The bathroom was functional, but nowhere near as well appointed as bathrooms on the newer Pinnacle class of ships. Showing signs of Westerdam's age, the bathroom still featured the dreaded shower curtain. Beyond the entrance, the queen bed was on the aft wall facing forward. Before the balcony was the seating area on the right and the desk on the left. Our bed was comfortable with newer bedding and accents. The seating area consisted of a rather small love seat, making it adequate for really just one individual. The desk too was rather small with limited storage. These cozy accommodations did include USB outlets on each side of the bed, as well as nightstands. However, the only other power outlets were on the desk, charging all our devices each day while still leaving room to get ready and work on our laptops took some coordination. Our veranda had plenty of space for the 2 loungers with ottomans and a small table, though the outdoor furniture had definitely seen better days. Having just sailed on Celebrity Summit, which is of a similar age, this cabin on Westerdam definitely felt dated. Still, with a port-intensive itinerary, the room was an adequate space to recharge before our next exciting port of call. Now, if you're planning to sail in Holland America Line Westerdam in Alaska and wondering what the experience is like, lucky for you, right here on YouTube, we have an Holland America Line Alaska cruise review. In that video, we break down our experiences spending 7 nights sailing the Pacific Northwest. We cover everything from the dining, onboard activities, enrichment, and more to help you decide if a Holland America Alaska cruise is right for your next vacation.